So, where shall we start with?
You can start with your music and your background.
I'll give a little bit of my background. I'm actually from the United States, born and raised, and I moved to Brazil about 25 years ago. So I actually have two traditions. I have my African American tradition from the United States, and I have my Brazilian tradition, mostly from Bahia, which is where I live. And when people ask about Bahia, I say it's like the Kerala of Brazil. A lot of the same foods, a lot the same climate, and there's a real love of music. The roots music of Bahia and really of Brazil is samba.
Okay.
But it's not the samba you see in Rio with like the oba oba. It's actually a samba that comes from the countryside, more rural samba. A lot of percussion, viola. It's the samba where the people who are working in the fields at the end of the day come together and celebrate holidays, just any moment to celebrate life, to find solace, like you mentioned. Through difficult times, it's samba that people come to.
Can you give a taste of it, a sample of this?
Sure. I'm not an authentic samba singer because I'm not, from the countryside, but this is a song that's from a city in the countryside, and I've met some people from there. It's called Maracangalha. It's a little town that had a sugarcane plantation, and it's famous probably more from this song. So, eu vou pra Maracangalha, eu vou. Eu vou de chapéu de palha, eu vou. Eu vou de uniforme branco, eu vou. Eu vou convidar a Anália, eu vou. Se a Anália não quiser ir, eu vou só. Eu vou só, eu vou só. Se a Anália não quiser ir, eu vou só. Eu vou só sem a Anália, mas eu vou.
Great, wonderful.
And then my other tradition is African American. So when you think of blues, rock and roll, jazz, that's all the African American tradition, or Africans who came to the United States during slavery. And they passed on their traditions, they held on to their culture, and mostly through music. That's what they were able to bring with them. And so what I'm studying now is, they're called the Negro spirituals and traditional folk music. So this would be also the music that people sung in the countrysides, on the farms, the very simple people who retain the culture. So one famous song is called Wade in the Water.
Can you sing it for us?
I'll sing a little bit. Wade, wait, hello. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the waters.
Wow.
So I don't know the whole song because there's a soloist usually. So everyone would sing that part together, and the soloist sings a part, and then everyone comes in with, God's gonna trouble the waters.
Okay, there's a chorus going on.
Yes, both samba and the Negro spirituals, they're sung in group. And there's a soloist that will come out and do the verses, and then everyone sings the chorus together.
Is there a movement to the song? Do you give a, when you see the movies, there is this movement and
The body
there's a body. Yeah.
Wade in the water,
Right.
wade in the water, children. Yeah, African music and song, or music that comes from Africa, always has dance. It's together, dance, music, and song. In Africa, it's not three separate things. They are always together.
Okay.
And I think you find also in samba in Brazil and in the black music of the United States, it's always together. What about here?
He's a great teacher, so he listened and learned from the student.
That's what makes him such a great teacher.
No, but I'm really interested in all kinds of music. You know, I try to borrow from all kinds of styles. I don't know how to borrow from your, but then the point is that it is always interesting to bring in different kinds of styles. For me, my own teacher, my own guru has taught me to assimilate different styles. Take 10-15 styles of different masters and bring it to your music, and then once you assimilate it, after a point of time, then you realize that it is part of your music, and then your music has a different identity altogether. Yeah, so he always used to say that, okay, you are learning under me, but don't sing like me. You're different. You give your own interpretation to your singing style. So what I do is essentially Carnatic music. So I have borrowed from Kerala's own ethnic Kathakali music. I've borrowed from Hindustani music. I've borrowed from English songs. So so essentially we are taught to, you know, make our music inclusive, bring all streams into, but then keep your own identity of, you know, the Carnatic style. The focus will always be on the Carnatic style, never dilute it with other styles. I mean, it's not like the fusion kind of music that's not what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So we take the best of what can be assimilated from other styles, but the core of Carnatic music always is there. You can only hear Carnatic, you cannot hear a Hindustani style in my music. But the aesthetics of some of these streams would have come because we've listened to the great masters, both Hindustani and or even East Indian music, like for example the Odissi music's dance styles. Yeah, Odissi itself is a apart from the Hindustani, there is also the northeast, the eastern side of India has a very earlier we had a Kalinga dynasty which was from Orissa to Kerala to Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
And all the Ashtapadis, have you heard of Ashtapadis?
No.
Oh, well, Ashtapadis are a what do you call, devotional love poems,
Okay.
which is created by of Krishna, created by a great poet called Jayadeva.
Very
So
romantic.
Oh, I
poetry,
have.
very beautiful.
In your book, I read a little bit about that. Okay.
yeah, so we have such poetry, and this has percolated across the different parts of the country. I mean,
So that's how
especially-
Ashtabadi came.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, which is why Kalinga dynasty was part of. That is why it came to Tamil Nadu. Yeah. So, so what I'm trying to tell you is, the music of the South has always been inclusive. We've tried to inculcate folk songs. Ta na 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 na. Ta na 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 na. So it's a folk tune, but there is a kriti. Kriti is a song which is it's a classical composition.
Okay.
We call it kriti. Ye tara cheluva rangaiya. So that's a composition which has come from the folk tradition.
Right. Okay.
So the method of rendition is also like that. Hariyamba matige marulade nallade tara cheluva rangaiya rangaiya. So you sing like a folk singer also.
Right.
So that is part of the Carnatic repertoire now.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So like that, if you take a ragam like Sindhu Bhairavi, which has come from Persia, the erstwhile Persian, we call it Gandharam, the region of Gandharam, Afghanistan, Persia and all that. Ara ri re da tara na 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 ra na ne tara na na ra na na ra na na re ra re te re. This was not part of the Carnatic tradition.
Okay.
It came from Persia to Hindustani music, and we borrowed from Hindustani music.
Okay.
So when this came to Carnatic music, the different integration happened like this. See, the Sindhu Bhairavi which is sung in Carnatic became like something like this. Karunai Devame Karpagame Karnavendum Mundan Porpadame Karunai Devame. It's the same Sindhi Bhairavi. It's the same Sindhu Bhairavi, but when it became assimilated with the Carnatic style, it changed. So what I think is, for you as a jazz musician or a blues musician, you can incorporate all these styles into your music and then become a famous jazz Carnatic singer.
Ooh, that's going to take a while. But I love that. I actually, part of the reason why I'm here is because jazz and Brazilian music both do the same, they both lend themselves to borrowing from other styles and making them their own. Jazz especially. I think that's why jazz is so popular everywhere in the world. Because I almost think of it like a dish. You know, you're going to make a certain dish, but you can add ingredients. You could still have the same dish, but have a different taste.
Right.
So,
can you sing a jazz number for us?
Okay. Let's see. Jazz also borrows from some folk and blues traditions, so I'm trying to think of one that's Lover Man. I don't know why, but I'm feeling so sad. I long to try something I've never had no kissing. Ooh, what I've been missing. Lover man, where can you be? So that's a song that you could do as a straight blues, or you can kind of embellish, you know, change little parts of the melody, add some vibrato, extend notes. And I know that this is what you do as well as with Carnatic music. Can you give an example of, because I'm new to this universe of Carnatic music, I've heard more Hindustani. So can you sing to, you know, show me the differences between the two styles? And what makes Carnatic music distinctively Carnatic?
Okay. See, for instance, let me put the pitch Shruti on. We'll take a ragam called Mohanam. The name of the ragam is Mohanam in Carnatic music and Bhoop in Hindustani music. The same notes. So it's popular even among the Western singing people. Sa ri ga pa da sa da pa ga ri sa la 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 la. Can you sing that?
La 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 la.
Great. So that's Mohanam. So you've started singing Mohanam already now.
You're such a good teacher.
Yeah. So this is the Hindustani style. I may not do justice to the Hindustani style of singing, but I'll just let you know how notes are placed, you know, elongated notes that sustain, and not much of graces and oscillations as in Carnatic music. Okay, so this is the inferior version of Hindustani that you're going to hear. Sa re ga re pa ga ga da pa re Mohanam. Sorry, this is the Bhoop style of Hindustani. Now Mohanam in Carnatic music will be something like this. Ta-na-na-na, ta-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-na-na-na, ta-ra-na-ra-na-na, na-na-na-na, so the same ragam, but look at the oscillations around each note. This is Carnatic. Ga pa ga re sa da sa is Hindustani. So the method of grace and oscillations in Carnatic's music style is a tad higher than Hindustani. And having said that, the note sustenance, the sustaining of one particular note is greater in Hindustani. So there are people who would love to listen to elongated notes. I mean, as part of the rasana is experience. So as part of the aesthetic experience, some people would love to hear notes extended. Da, pa, the people say, wonderful. Then there are certain people who would love to say, ga, pa, da, da, ri, da, sa. So some people would love to hear this kind of an oscillation.
Right.
Yeah, so these two different styles are the most dominant styles. Of course, there are innumerable differences in voice production in the Carnatic and Hindustani, but aesthetically these are the two distinct differences between the two styles. Yeah. You can actually sing it, like this is very easy to sing. I'll just keep your pitch and then we will try your. Sa ri ga pa da sa la 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 la. Okay, now the difference here is that you started using falsetto from one point of the scale, but we don't use falsetto for our singing. So la 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 la. Can you just sing all out and sing it?
La 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 la.
Great. So now you have already started singing Mohanam. Great. Yes, really good. So now you can also sing la la
La la.
Great. So that's the gamakam. That's what we call gamakam, or an oscillation. Yeah.
How do you say it again?
Gamakam.
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 La la la.
La la.
Great. La la la.
La la.
La la la.
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 Can you sing falsetto?
La la.
No. La 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 la.
La la la.
Exactly. So this we have a bird here singing. Coo. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I just wrote a song called Sounds of Everything because there is sound 24 hours here. Birds, frogs, the wind, the bats. It sounds to me like everything is singing.
Right.
And I love that that's in the music itself.
You know, in fact, you know, when my guru was trying to learn music, so his father was a wood sawyer. So they would saw wood, and my guru would go to just watch this. You know why? Because there's a sound, no, the wow, wow. So he would listen to that, and then he would bring a particular tempo to it, and then start singing for that tempo.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I think yes, we need to learn from all this. We need to learn from nature, from the birds, from the water. You said you were very interested in observing water.
Yes, I think the water really inspires me. I live by the ocean in Brazil, and I just need to be by the water. I feel solace there, I feel peace, and I always, if I go there with a journal, I always come back with a poem or something, and it feels like the water is speaking to me, you know. And this river here, I would just sit and stare at it for hours, and there was this one day where, because it's always changing. You think, oh, it's just the water flowing. No, it's changing, and there's so much life around it. And the currents look like they're going in different directions. And there was one day where I thought there was going to be a storm. The clouds came, the sky turned dark, and this huge wind came, but it didn't rain. But the wind looked like it was dancing on the water. And there was all this sound. There was the sound of the wind. There was the sound of the water moving. There was the sound of the trees rushing, and then the birds flying. And it was like watching a symphony and listening to a symphony. It was really beautiful.
Do you want to sing a song for that memory of the water swirling?
No. I don't really have a song for that. But if you do.
You know, it's
raga.
Yeah, of course there are ragas connected to the monsoons, you know, there are, yeah. So one is okay, wait, I have to keep changing the shruti.
Shruti is the tone?
Is the pitch, the standard pitch upon which you base your song. Okay. So yours was G sharp. No, I'm singing for C, universal C. So there is a Carnatic raga for the rains, for the wondrous rains. There's a Hindustani raga for the rains as well. So Sagama pani zani pamaga sani pani sa. This is called Amrita Varshini. The raga is called Amrita Varshini. The scale is this: Sagama pani sa sani pamaga sa. You want to try it? La la la. La 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 la. No, la 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 la. La la. Sagama bama gama bani zani bani zaga zani zagama bama gama ga zani zani bani bama gama ga zani bani za.
Nobody, only master.
No. Lot of musicians can do it. You know what is
But the way how
Yeah.
he sings, one and only.
Watching the water, it's like.
So it is as if this raga was created in the 18th century, and this was created by one of the great musicians of India called Muthuswami Dikshitar. So sani sani pani bama bama gama ga saga sani sani pa. It is as if the rain falls, no, the pitter patter of the rains. Sama gama ga zani ba sani bama ni bama gama ga zani pani za gama ba ni sa gama ba ni za sama gama ga zani ba zani bama ni bama gama za gama ni za gama gama ga zani.
I will never hear the rain in the same way again. I can't think of your voice.
The name
Okay.
of the raga also.
Yeah, the
Amrita Varshini.
yeah, Amrita Varshini.
Showers of nectar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Voice of nectar.
No. So
Each note has a name.
not each note, just the ragam, the whole scale. This one scale is called Amrita Varshini.
But when you're singing each note, you're changing the
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah. Sagamapa, Sagamapa. You want to try that? Sagamapa,
Sagamapa,
Sagaga Samama,
sagaga,
Samama,
samama, saga,
Sagaga Samama,
sagaga, samama,
Sapapa.
sapapa,
So Sagaga Samama, Sapapa.
sagaga, samama, sapapa,
Sagaga Samama, Sapapa Manini,
sagama, sapapa,
Samama,
samama,
Gapapa,
gapapa,
Manini,
manini,
Pasasa,
pasasa,
Sani,
sani, sani,
Nipa, Nipa,
nipa, nipa,
Pama,
pama, pama,
Maga, Maga,
maga, maga,
Gasa, Gasa.
gasa, gasa.
Great. So, so,
He's the teacher of teachers.
no, come on.
Makes a difference. He make himself very humble and but I'm saying, is that master serious?
Yeah. No, to take someone who knows nothing.
No, but
about
you're
the
singing. See,
violin.
that's the most important thing. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, it's so easy for you to sing. You never encountered even a small bit of resistance when you sang that. So it is amenable to your style. This is what I was trying to tell you.
Yes.
You can take different aspects of the various Indian styles of music into yours, and then adapt it. I'll also sing another Hindustani counterpart of this, not the same ragam but different ragam. Sari ma pa ni da ni sa pa ga ma ri sa ni da ni sa ma ri pa ma pa ni da ni sa ri pa ga ma ri sa na re ra na ri na na re ra na. This is called Miyan Ki Malhar. Miyan Ki Malhar is the raga of rains in the Hindustani style. One of the most popular.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very, very beautiful. Barse badariya savan ki, barse badariya savan ki, मन भावन की, सावन की, मन भावन की, सावन की, मन भावन की, बरसे बदरिया सावन की.
I hear, it's so beautiful to hear and to watch you because your execution is perfect, but it also looks like it's effortless. My impression is that the sound is flowing through you. You're this instrument for the sound of the rain, as if the spirit of the rain is singing through you. Can you talk about how you train to be able to have the same level of technique, but also to be able to transmit so much feeling and emotion?
Maybe it's a difficult question to answer. Okay, but let me start saying this, that for a very number of years that we trained under our gurus, we want to learn techniques. Ma pa ni da ni ni sa, ma pa ni da ni ni sa. We keep singing this phrase on and on and on for years.
Wow.
And then it has to be second nature to us. Then we forget that we have to actually sing it. We just have to think about it. We don't sing it actually. So I think that's just the act. I cannot describe it any better. But I guess music has to be second nature. Okay. It has to come as a spontaneous flow. Otherwise, you cannot sing, because it is a way of connecting with the excellence.
Right.
So the moment you start singing, you need to think that you are connecting to some higher power, some higher force, and therefore whatever is the higher force, you call it excellence. And if you want to call excellence God, please go ahead and call it God. So anything that is excellent, any number of superlative that you want to call the form of excellence, call it. And every aspect of your singing should be for that, should be contributing to that excellence. But the best part and the worst part is that you never reach excellence.
Because it's the absolute, it's the ultimate. So
Right.
you still feel that, you're somewhere closer.
Right.
Not, you haven't reached there.
But it's just kind of
That's
like
the
in
way how they put-
romance, that
Yeah.
kind of elusive.
Yeah.
You're
It-
almost there.
Yeah, you're almost there.
Right.
You're almost there every time. And
And you are
hence,
there too.
That's what keeps you
I'm still here,
going.
then I'm just almost.
yeah, you're just there. And since you feel that you're always just there, you want to try it again.
Yes, exactly.
So and every time it is, see, okay, for one whole year you're practicing, you know that okay, you've reached this level, and from the next year onwards you want to go from this level to this level.
Right.
It comes automatically to you,
Right.
and therefore you feel humbled. You feel, oh my goodness, after all these years that I've put, is this what I'm singing? No, I have to do it better.
Right.
So I think that is why we imbibe. I think especially in these two classical styles of music, people tend to learn more. So it's like an eternal learning process. You keep on learning, and when you keep on learning and singing, I think people have a feeling that I think people really like people who are passionate about something. If you're passionate about your music, it reflects, it communicates.
Yes.
Takes the listener.
It
Yeah,
takes the
yeah.
listener and the singer together. No?
Yes.
So when you sing, I felt that you were very passionate about your music. We could feel that you were passionate about your singing, and and honesty is needed. You have to make people. People have to believe what you sing. It's they have to feel that, oh, he is in love with somebody, or
Yes.
he is in total devotion to the Lord.
Yes.
He is lamenting.
Right.
He is crying
Right.
through your music. People have to feel it.
Yes.
For that you need honesty.
Yes.
Goddamn honesty.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
And for me, I find that my challenge is I get stuck sometimes in the technical, like I wanna get the notes perfect. I want the pitch to be perfect. I want the timbre of the song,
Right.
And so I'm always searching for that. But then sometimes I will forget the feeling part, and I don't always know how to combine both, Sometimes there's a moment on stage where, and it's funny because in these moments, I almost feel like I disappear, and then the song can come through, the pitch is perfect, the emotion is perfect, and that's always the point where I can feel it's reaching people. And like you said, I'm not thinking about it anymore. But I don't know how to always get to that place.
I don't think it is possible either. I don't think it's possible. You see, if you ask me very honestly, I would have been in that stage at least maybe 5 times, just 5 times, where I have completely lost control of my music and the music takes me forward. So music and me, they are one and the same, or they are completely different. But I have seen that phase of mine only maybe 5 times. But the goal is always to reach there.
But the listener said it's more than 50 times. They all felt it.
Yeah, I felt
With him when he sings.
But that's
It
so
happens.
funny.
Okay,
Like we were
let
talking
me also
about-
give you a very, sorry. So you want to say something? Please.
No, it was actually something that you said earlier about we're the first listener to our voice. Maybe you can talk a little bit.
Yeah. I think once you sing, once you lose yourself in your style of singing, then every sound that comes to the world, you are the first listener to that too. So the sound surprises you too. It need not be, surprising and then going overboard. No, but yes, okay, this is something that has come through me but not by me.
Right.
Yeah. So it's exactly what you said, no? So I was referring to this great musician called Flute. There was a flautist called Flute Mahalingam. So he would come to the stage and he would just play one note. That's all. And he would keep repeating the same note, and people would be absolutely bored, because why do you want to listen to one note? So everybody was confused. I mean, I never got an answer for that until recently, when somebody told me he was trying to achieve perfection in that one note.
Whoa.
He wanted to get one note perfectly to his level of satisfaction, not to ours, to his level of satisfaction. Until he reaches that, he will never play anything else.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a maverick musician, but that is the kind of training, and that's the kind of spiritual strength that all these styles of music give you.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because I find the more I learn, the more I go into music, it's becoming more of a spiritual practice for me. In a way where I feel like, how to even put it into words? It's important for me, for my spiritual growth, to keep exploring and learning how to use my voice. And maybe it's that pursuit of getting to that place where you disappear.
Right.
That's really more of a spiritual practice than it is
Right.
a technical or,
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's really what motivates me now, is it's how I need to sing to evolve spiritually.
Exactly. Okay, let me rephrase it this way. So when I was singing like 15 years back, I would be very attentive as to what the audience would. Okay, are they liking this song or the next one, or the next one? Are they applauding on this? Are they listening to what I'm singing? Now that has changed to a journey which I'm taking inward. So it's an inward journey. So I don't care now. I just don't care about what people are thinking about music. But I sincerely feel now that if you are taking an inward journey, that becomes translated to the listener, and the listener itself, the listener also takes an inward journey. You don't have to sing for him. You don't have to sing for the gallery, and make them applaud. That kind of music is there. I respect that. But for this style of music, for classical arts specifically, it's a very, very spiritually, it's a journey into the spirit and the mind of the artist. It's a very, very internal journey. This is exactly what you're saying. So, see, I think even in jazz, when you say there are certain unexpected twists and turns, the syncopation of the rhythmic patterns. These are all giving you a lot of surprises, a lot of joy. It's a very enlivening process, right? Your spirit is uplifted.
Yeah.
You're not singing just for the people to say wow. No, you're not doing that. You're just
No. And there are moments on stage, and I think these are my favorite ones, where, especially in jazz, it becomes a conversation between the musicians.
Right.
Where I'm listening to what the bass player is doing, and I want to respond to that, and he's listening to the pianist. That's when it's good, when we're all listening to each other and we're having that conversation. And the audience gets to experience it as well.
Right.
They feel the difference.
Do you want to sing one more jazz number or
Let's see, a jazz number. Okay. Could I do something, and maybe, is there much improvisation in Carnatic?
Right.
Do you want to try to do something
Oh,
together?
Sure.
Would something slower be better? Maybe a ballad?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do my favorite, Embraceable You.
Okay.
I think I do it in C. Embrace me. Is that good for you? My sweet embraceable you.
La 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 la.
Embrace me,
La la la.
you irreplaceable you.
Da ra 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 ra.
Just one look at you,
Da da ra ra ra.
my heart grows tipsy
Da 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 da.
in me.
Da da.
You and you alone
Da ra ra.
bring out the gypsy
Da ra 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 ra.
in me.
Da ra.
How could we do that Carnatic? I think that song would lend itself well to Carnatic style. How could we? Could I do a phrase and then you could like do it and maybe I'll take like a short phrase like you do. Embrace me.
Da ra.
Ooh. You sweet.
Da ra ra.
Embraceable you.
Tanari.
I love it. That's so amazing.
No, so it's possible to sing in Carnatic and Hindustani style, but of course what would be amiss in when I sing with you, when I sing this particular piece with you, is that the meaning and the different intonations that you make in your music, that may not come here. So people would be, why people are liking your kind of music is because of this kind of expression in the voice, like you said, in the tenor, in the texture, the hues that come along with all that. But that is missing when you sing an alap in this. But of course, you can mix two together. But what is remarkably highlighted in your kind of music, in this kind of jazz and blues, is the meaning, the different note combinations. Okay. The note combinations in one ragam is fixed here in Carnatic, whereas you can go anywhere you want. So a lot of freedom when you take jazz style. Okay. In Hindustani, you can also do, you say mishra. When you say mishra, mishra is a mixture of notes into one particular phrase, into one particular ragam. So there is, the mixtures are admissible in Hindustani music than in Carnatic music. Okay. Yeah.
So there is more scope for improvisation.
Yeah, improvisations, this becomes within one parameter. Okay. We have to do it within that there are endless possibilities again in this, but in the other case you can do different it's allowed. But like in jazz, when you sang this, I mean, you can you go to the next part of what you sang, the second half of what you sang? You went up.
You irreplaceable you, just one look at you.
Ta na 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 na. So ta na 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 na. It's so that can come in Hindustani music. Ta na 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 is what you sang. Yeah. Ta na 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 na. So there is another folk version of Hindustani which is more, it's called ghazal, the ghazal style, which is like it's an ocean of possibility. So all these music can come here. Ta ra na ra na 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 ta ra na na re ta ra re ra. So just from there, somebody could do a ghazal piece and then come back to your yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's so interesting because that's what jazz musicians do. I am not so great at improving, but yeah, they'll take a note and they'll just create a whole other melody, a whole other piece from that note, sometimes change keys, and everyone else has to listen and go along with that.
The chord progression itself is different, right? In jazz,
Yeah.
there's a different chord progression going on.
Yeah. But jazz lends itself to anything. Jazz is very accepting, it's very open, you know.
Exactly.
I have a question. So, how music can uplift human in this time of Corona? What it can do? Whether
Did it do something to you at least now?
To me, it's all the time doing. I'm saying about in a more collective sense, you know, to more people.
Yeah, I think music is definitely like he said, solace. It's definitely a solace. But then I think if you want to go a bit deeper, like for instance, these kinds of music, this Carnatic or Hindustani, you'll also need a bit of
Training.
Not training. You need. I think you need to sit down and really. You can't just listen it like a lounge music where everything sounds nice and you can be on a lift and hear lounge music. And, but here, once a Hindustani musician is singing, I think you have to listen to him. You have just listen. Yeah.
With your heart.
Yeah, with your with definitely with your heart. Yeah, definitely. You have to. Okay, this is something different. I need to listen to it, and I have to sit down. You can't. I don't know if you can jog listening to. There are people who do it. It's not that it is not. It's not.
Time and treadmill and listening.
Yeah, more than that is possible, I guess. But there are people really. There are people who drive while listening to. So all that is there, but still I feel that.
But it's more meant to be.
Yeah, it's an inner experience. It's an inward experience. So I wouldn't attach any motor activity.
Dedicate yourself.
Yeah, a bit of dedication is needed. Yeah, that's the word. A
You
bit
surrender
of dedication.
to music. You just.
Yeah, a bit of dedication. Just to.
Is a bit means. He's always very humble. It's just a bit, but it, you surrender to that
music. Music is a treatment.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to the point. How it can soothe. That's what, more than treatment.
Yeah, I think it can be part of the treatment. I wouldn't say it is not the medicine, and I don't support that view.
Yeah.
At least experiments have not given us enough evidence to
Corona,
say
he doesn't
that.
prescribe.
I don't prescribe.
It's not.
Tablets, no.
But it can
it helps.
definitely be part of the treatment.
It helps.
From a very they call something now well-being. In the whole well-being kind of treatment, music can be one. Yoga can be another. So
I think music can be part of that
It
healing.
can be a catalyst for the betterment.
Yes,
correct.
sure,
Correct.
no
It's a
doubt.
healer. It's a
That's
healer.
what I was asking.
Definitely.
How to uplift them, how to motivate them, how to soothe them.
And people are in a lot of fear right now. And I think that music can really help with that. People tend to feel better when they listen to music. And that's a part of the healing process. It makes the body stronger, the mind stronger, and it improves our immunity when we feel happy. And, people might not have work, they might not have food, there are all these external factors, and they can put on some music and feel better. They can take a break from reality for a bit. And this,
But
for a little bit, not for...
no, but music has a big role.
Yeah.
You forget about hunger,
Yeah.
When you listen real good music, you forget about everything.
And I think music has another thing that's really important, and I think one of the reasons why we're able to communicate on this level, even though we've just met, is music in itself is a language that bypasses everything. Politics, religion, any of this. People can connect from two different places, speaking two different languages in music. And that's magical. I mean, to me, the world needs more of this right now. We have so many conflicts, and you believe in this God, and I worship this God, but we can like the same music and find a place to connect.
Alisa, when you write something, especially about the contemporary politics or the socio-economic scenario, it seems you are a social activist. But how it is related to your music or your
Oh,
songs?
wow. I've never thought about that because I don't think of myself as a social activist. Um, I think, as you were saying, you have to be really honest when you sing. For me, that's requiring that I be really honest in life and everything. I can't be honest on stage and not be honest in the rest of my life. And so for me, that means holding myself accountable first. And then that allows me to see places or people or situations that are not in integrity, with not like any political or religious dogma, but just in being a good human. There are some things happening that are just not right. It doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter. Everyone should have food, everyone should have a place to live, everyone should eat. No one should be killed unless in self-defense. You know, they're just certain basic things. And once you see that, if you have a voice, you should use it to say something about that. So if I have a platform through writing to say, hey, this injustice is going on here, this is not right, I feel like I have a certain responsibility to do that. I don't do it directly in music because I don't feel called to that. I think there are some artists who that is their calling. They write songs about social activism and injustice. I don't feel like I could do that from an honest place, so I don't. But I think that if I am living in integrity, then that will be in my music. And if I am being a just person, somehow that's going to be in my music. So.
So that's almost, I think we are almost.
I have a question. I'm going back to the mystical, is that okay?
Yes.
You spoke about aesthetics and finding the beauty and the patterns in the banana fields and how then once you find your beauty, your aesthetic, then it could come through your music. And I thought that was so beautiful. Could you speak about that again?
Okay, now I think I was coming to it and then I diverted my conversation, this conversation. My formative years of music, I was training. So it was like 80% of the time I would sing, virtually sing, and I had to, like you said, I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to get this phrase, I need to get the speed, well, at that point of time it was okay. It was because I never knew what aesthetic itself was. I could just sing. So 80% of that, 80 to 90% of singing, and just 10% of other inputs about what is beauty, about. I mean, I never thought it was important. I was just singing. But my guru used to tell me that you should watch the rivers. You should watch a wonderfully laid out banana plantation where all the plants are equally distributed, and there is a proportion there, there's a balance there. All that can be you have to see that, you have to appreciate it, you have to appreciate a good theater performance, you have to appreciate a dancer. You don't have to know what the dancer is trying to say, just watch the dancer, how she conquers that space. Just keep observing it. But I never knew what he meant, what my guru meant. But yes, I did follow what he told me. I went for Kathakali performances, I watched films, I watched theater, I did everything I could at that point of time. But now I know that aesthetics, whatever I could gather, it always meant, when he said that, okay, you should observe. And when you say that somebody has to observe something, it means that you have to learn from it. And then I thought what he meant was this, that you have to learn aesthetics from all these. Whatever those principles are. It can be a principle of order versus chaos. It can be a principle of symmetry versus asymmetry. It can be brevity versus elaboration. All these are aesthetic principles which you can see. You can see it in the rivers, you can see it in the ocean, you can see brevity in rivers, you can see vastness in an ocean. So all these are part of the aesthetics which functionally give us that confidence to apply in one's own art. So essentially what my guru has done was that, and I think this is what I am doing. So now it is 80% aesthetics and 20% singing. Wow. So I think that should govern our philosophy of art. You know, that should, and then art will reflect it for you. You don't have to sing and cry out loud and say that, okay, come on, this is my style. No, you don't have to. Yeah. So it'll. I think it will speak for itself. You just be an instrument there. I think therefore this flow, the word flow can be applied. You know, it just flows through you. It just gets more processed through you, and again it's outside. I mean, you just, the flow comes, it goes through you, and it's you know, the listener sees it, hears it, he experiences it. Yeah, so almost we are there.
Anything more?
I do have another question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
But see, you're going to have to tell me when to stop. So, as a singer coming from the West, from Western traditions, often people will study opera to get a good foundation of, you know, this is how you use your voice. What can a Western singer do by studying Carnatic music for a foundation? What do you think that could give to
A Western singer?
Yeah.
I think a distinct identity, definitely, because ta 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 da 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 da. It's a melody. It need not be Western essentially, but let's say it's Western for me. Ta 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 da 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 da. Okay. Ta 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 da 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 da. You do it in jazz, right? You do it in blues. Ta 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 da 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 da. So if you know sa ga ma pa ni sa ni pa ma ga sa ga ma pa, that's so this is the melody that I sang. The raga is called Shuddha Dhanyasi in Carnatic. So if you know this, if you know this is Shuddha Dhanyasi, and then sa ga ma pa sa ni pa ma ga ma sa is what I sang. Sa ni pa ma ga ma sa. Can you sing that? Sa ni pa ma ga ma sa. Sa ni pa ma 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 ga sa. Sa ni pa ma 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 ga sa. So Shuddha Dhanyasi does not have ma, is not there in Shuddha Dhanyasi. That's a foreign note added. So here is what you can do. You can do anything with one scale. Sa ni pa ma 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 ga, sa ni pa ma 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 ga sa.
For him, everything is there in his finger.
Yeah.
Just
Well, did it sound jazz, by the way? I don't know. I was just singing.
Yes, it remains.
It sounded like a blend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, I can't be able to, I won't be able to, I can only be able to give you a feel of what jazz is because I'm only listened to it. Right. So, but the point is that you can pick and choose from any set of melodies from this part of the globe and then put it there and then do everything that you can do in jazz. And that's going to be great, you know.
So I might be back.
Absolutely.
For some classes.
Yeah, we always love the Spider-Man returns.
Right. How many Spider-Man sequels are there? I'm going to be back for
Spider-Woman.
5 years.
Yeah, at least Wonder Woman has at least 5 sequels.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So we come to the end of the chat, but let the flow continue.
yes, let it flow. Let it flow.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Wonderful. And thank you very much for.
I'm very
Thank
happy.
you.
Alisa, delighted to talk to
It's
you.
been a pleasure and an honor. I just, it was a miracle that I was even able to get to India during this time and to be
Right,
able to
right.
meet you and to sing with you. It's the highlight of my trip here. It really is.